All right, welcome back into another episode of Indiebnb. Today we are joined by Teddy Boldt of Teddy at Night, and it's appropriate. We're meeting at night. So,
It
how's your
is.
Nashville night, baby?
Man, it is great. I'm stoked to be here. I got a nice mezcal cocktail to accompany us.
Nothing like something smoky to really get get you fired up to answer
I
some
agree.
questions, go through the interview. I love that. Love
I
that.
agree. It's like a
Well,
holding someone's hand.
I love it. I love it. It's the warm feeling.
Yeah.
Well, you've got a new one out, Lost Art of Listening. We'll dive into that one in a second, but want to understand a little bit about the kind of the beginnings of this project. Like, where did this come from? Was it birthed out of something or just something you wanted to do? Where did it come from?
Yeah, I mean it was always in there. It's about four or five different variations before it landed on, Teddy at Night. But yeah, I've been playing in bands and writing songs since I was probably 12, 13 years old, and mostly drumming for other bands, and
Mm-hmm.
but just had this serious desire to well, maybe I just love talking, and I love this being the center of attention, but
Mm-hmm.
had just this drive to share these ideas that I had, and I really wanted to make people feel the way that music makes me feel. I'm obsessed with music and live music. It's my life. And so I figured, man, well, I'm having fun doing it behind the drums, but like I can't connect the way that I think I'm supposed to. And so this officially birthed about 5 years ago, Teddy at Night. And yeah, it's been a wild time to launch to be a band. I mean, we released our first single 2 days after lockdown. So it was a very interesting false start, kind of.
Yeah.
Um I spent a lot of time feeling bad about that, and then just decided no more. And we're still doing it, and it's the best. So but yeah.
Yeah, was it originally you and Stephanie and Ezra, or was there other people? Yeah,
Yeah.
what is this the lineup that has been going since the beginning?
Yeah, this is Stephanie and Ezra have been with me since the beginning of Teddy at Night, but they've kind of, they Ezra has a brilliant artist project called Motherly Jet, and just like we've always been playing in each other's projects, and Ezra and I actually met on the road working for another band, and we quickly, became friends, and just like almost instant collaborators, whether it was with my project or his or something else, or for no reason, just for fun. And on we had our debut tour last year for our debut record, and by the end of that tour, like Stephanie and Ezra and I were, it was just kind of one of those moments where, like, like it's always been a band. I've always wanted it to be more than just Teddy. And yeah, I mean, Ezra, we had like our Tuesday night band meetings for weeks, and he was just like, "Man, are you just afraid to ask us to officially be in the band?" And I was like, Actually, yeah." And they just kind of laughed. They're like, "Fuck off, dude! Like, let's do this." And it's been insane, honestly. So yeah.
Is that kind of like how it goes? Like, I mean, again, I'm not been in a band. You have to like kind of like it's like asking somebody to be your girlfriend or
Kind
boyfriend. You
of
gotta
like, well,
like kind of
that's,
like
yeah. Well, I mean, they've been around so long, and it's not just them. So it's them, it's us three in the pictures, and then there's been countless people who have believed in it and come alongside us for a season, or whatever, and that's been unreal in itself, because this has yet to take over the world as we intend to. But there's also Mark Campbell and Mason Maxwell. They're kind of like, and we presented the idea to them, and they're like, "Oh, we don't want to be in pictures," or "We're not sure about touring," or and those are things that we understood, but their like footprint and like soul is as much a part of the creative process as the three of us divas in the pictures. So, but yeah, that was it. It is, to actually answer your question, it is a weird thing. It's almost like we're starting a band backwards. Like, and I'm just thankful where we're at right now.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Well, Lost Art of Listening, obviously one you're on, the one you've released most recently, but you had a whole entire album, Good in the End, come out last year. So I mean, obviously creative process for this, particular track, Lost Art of Listening, like where did we start? How did this go from, nothing to something,
Yeah, yeah. Well, the very beginning of Teddy at Night, I was trying to find its footing, and I was writing with a lot of friends of mine. Because I am mainly a drummer. I don't play guitar or piano well enough to write what I hear in my head. And so I had a lot of brilliant friends just kind of come around me and force me to get these ideas out by lending their talents. And we all live in Nashville, Tennessee, where there's just a fuck ton of insane musicians. And but I'm just this, like, synthesizer rock and roll boy, and like it was really hard to find other people in what is like dominantly a country music city.
Yeah.
And so slowly we found all our pieces. But early on, I was just writing with anybody and everybody I could who said anything about some sort of 80s band or synthesizer
Mhm.
or any sort of reference, and ended up with a lot of songs. And funny enough, Lost Art of Listening was written before most of Good in the End. And it was
Wow.
originally going to be on Good in the End, and it just didn't feel like it fit. And then we kind of scrapped most of the original demo and production and started it over as this, you know mature version, or whatever you want to call it, of Teddy at Night, and just to see if it was worth finishing. And it turned out to be. And then we threw like one of our favorite bands, Golden Blue, on it, and they're unreal. And um very thankful to just for it to feel like this wild collaboration, to where, yeah, we graduated from it seeming, from it being me in the pictures, to three of us in the pictures. And then you take the song that I wrote with one of my BFFs 6 years ago, then brought it to, four other people, and then brought another band into it. It just kind of embodies what the song is about, in itself, without intentionally being like, oh, well, this is the vision of the song, we have to have people. Like, just naturally came together. So I guess that's what makes Lost Art Listening different than Good in the End, but they were written uh, around the same time.
Interesting. Now, bringing in like a band to feature, like you've done, it's been a couple of, I saw the St. Lucia, remix. We'll get to that in a minute, but like, I think like the things that you got, like, it seems like very difficult. You got a lot of hands in the pot. Like, how does
Hmm.
it stay organized? How does it, become, still a Teddy at Night, like, track, and keeping your fingerprints on it.
Yeah. Good question. I've been lucky enough to be around pretty much from the beginning. Everybody that was there at the beginning is now, they're just, in my opinion, cemented in now, till death do us part, in my in my mind. Um, in a on a lighter note. But no,
Yeah.
it's their fabric has always been, it's kind of
Mhm.
already been in here. And whether it has or not, like, even early on, like, say, like, Stephanie wasn't writing the songs or creating with me, but she was one of the first people that I was showing demos, when she would
Mhm.
orange or whatever, or hey, like, I think the photo shoot should be like this, or I think, so, like, even on that capacity, and just like the friendship outside of the working relationship was, you know, there was dynamic and chemistry. And so that element, it's like she jumped right in. And then
Yeah.
Ezra has been there sonically from the beginning. He has
Mhm.
played on most of the songs leading up to what we are currently working on right now, our next record. Now it's just, so it wasn't a big jump, like, all right, now you're, and so it was weird. I think it took me letting go a little bit just to realize, like, wait a second, like, you guys have always been here. You've understood what, my little version of this was, and it didn't become Teddy at Night until they were all here.
Part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about bringing in like a band, like you mentioned Golden Blue, like having
Oh
them kind
yeah.
of put in like, put in their part of it too? Like how does that work, with to kind of bringing some other people in?
Yeah. Well, we brought Golden Blue out on our debut tour last year and became quick friends. And I think that it wouldn't have happened if there wasn't that element there. Um,
Mhm.
and we both share just very similar musical interests and have joked about covering songs together that are, a male female duet vibe, and we bonded over Peter Gabriel's "Don't Give Up," which he's got Kate Bush on there, and so we talked about wanting to cover that. And I think it was within that conversation that I had showed Ashley from Golden Blue a demo of Lost Art Listening. And I was like, why don't you guys just like jump on this? And it was honestly, in this scenario, it wasn't anything else more than that. It was like, all right, well, when are you free? And then she came to the studio. And it just like, it was another like example of like, okay, if this isn't going to work, we're going to feel it right away. And there was
Yeah.
never really a moment where it was like, this isn't working. So,
Yeah.
so hot off
That's
the press, though, we actually ended up covering "Don't Give Up" by Peter Gabriel, Kate Bush with Golden Blue. And we just finished it. So that's what's next.
Oh, all right. We got some
Yeah.
exclusive. We got it in the next single. Get a little cover action in there.
I'm 3 of these in. I'm just spilling the beans, man.
Hey, I love it. I love it. We'll get it out there, and the listeners will be appreciative. So they love a good new that new. So
Yeah, oh,
something
I
coming
know.
out.
Don't we all, man? I used to be so
Yeah,
judgmental. Just sit with something. Stop waiting for the next thing. Now I'm like, even my favorite band, I'm like, this is great. What's next?
yeah. I've been the pre-save on Spotify has gotten me with like because I'll get an email and I'll be like, yeah, like pre-save this. It's like I don't know, man. I think I'm following you. I'd rather just wait for it to come out than
Just, yeah,
just if you're gonna send me an email about it, let me listen to it. Like,
yeah. Yeah, so much asking of the listener these days is it
yeah,
feels very cheap.
yeah. I
But
don't know. It's an interesting. Everyone's kind of got their own take on it. For you
yeah.
guys, like I mean, as you've started this in the middle of COVID, like, did you feel like that part of it, this social media kind of grind of like, getting followers, like creating the buzz within that, like, you feel like kind of kind of be an inner part of this fabric because you guys didn't start just like touring right away because you had to like kind of have that like little bit of period of like, all right, we got to figure out what's going on here, and then we can get out in the road again.
Yeah, it was weird. I think funny enough, before Teddy at Night, in previous bands that I played in, I've like managed social media accounts for other bands and stuff and had a pretty solid grip on it. And my dumbass actually got off social media for 2 years to finish the Teddy at Night world, very beginning. And so by the time I jumped back on, it felt like a different language.
Yeah,
And that was also the rise, 2020, like TikTok had been around, but it was like that really ramped up. And it took me a while to accept that that was kind of going to be the future. And we're still learning, it changes every day. And we're not the kind of band to do dance trends or anything like that, or hurting ourselves online for money. But I think we just want to create art, so as long as that is forward facing, but also we don't want to be, yeah, robots. But it's
yeah,
it's a weird line.
yeah. I think it's kind of everyone's kind of got a complicated relationship with it.
Yeah, yeah,
I've talked to folks who've been like, yeah, I mean, it's kind of part of what we're doing now, and like I have to decide to be good at it, or
yeah.
it's one or the other, right? So, again, we have the same issue. Yeah, we
Yeah,
we
dude.
have to figure out how to get people to get engaged and all that stuff, and we're too old guys, so we don't really know what we're doing. But
Dude,
you,
it's
you
It's wild. Yeah.
Yeah,
The fact of, sometimes you just want to be like, fuck it, let's just post something stupid to try and like get attention. And you're like,
yeah,
but why? Like without that would completely discredit the art that we've created. And so
yeah.
yeah, it's a constant, and now there's three of us with an opinion about it. Honestly, thankfully Stephanie has stepped more into the social media
Hmm.
role, and moving forward it'll just feel more like less of like selfie video, like even just
Yeah,
having somebody else to be like, whatever, filming you or filming each other or something. Like I think even that helps make it feel as genuine as it is. Anytime it's a selfie style video, for me personally, I instantly like put on a face and can't shoot it straight. So but
yeah. Well, I mentioned earlier you had a band remix, one of your songs, Saint Lucia, love Dancing on Glass. Obviously, I think
yeah.
I haven't had the pleasure of seeing them yet. I'm hopeful
Oh
to
man.
soon. But like, talk to me about that. Like, did they approach you guys? Did you approach them? Like, what was the process there?
Man, well, one, I'm stoked for you to see them live because it's insane.
Really?
That was what, yeah, their live show is brilliant, always has been. But man, at the very beginning of Teddy at Night, I kind of made a list because of the psychotic music fan that I am. I made a list of 100 bands who were mostly modern. A lot were like those giant legacy '80s, U2, whatever, and I just started writing them all like thank you letters for just their inspiration and like commitment to like their craft. And they were short and sweet little, Instagram DMs or emails or whatever. And just wanted to thank, wasn't really expecting anything, but I always left it as like I would, it's a dream to tour with you someday, or would love to get a remix, like, or would love to talk about a remix someday, or just like would love to collaborate or whatever it was. I like kind of ended each little love note with that. And out of the 100 artists, only two responded, which is fine, but they were two of my like ultimate favorite bands at the time. And it was very kind, and I just kind of like hit it off with John from St. Lucia, and he was just like, "Dude, I love this EP. I love this song. I love this about that song." And it was just kind of, it was so special to feel heard by somebody who has inspired you. To feel heard at all, it feels special. But for somebody that was an influence, and that you feel like you see the world similarly, take their time to listen to something. And so it was long story short, I was just like, hey man, like it, if you ever like are bored and want like stems to remix a song or whatever, like would love that. And he immediately responded, was like, yep, like hit up my manager to get it all set. And I was like, what? And it was just this, it was funny because we were actually in the studio writing Good in the End, because the EP had been out for a little while. And so we were all kind of on a high, like, holy shit, like, are we about to get a St. Lucia remix? Whatever. Um, Long story short, his manager emailed me, hey, this is the remix fee. And I was like, oh, damn. Yeah, well, of course. Like, that's like, serious work.
Business, yeah,
And yeah. And I was like, okay, hey, so we're a nothing band. We can't afford that, but thank you so much. Like, we'll be in touch because someday this is going to happen. And so I just went back on Instagram to just thank John and be like, hey, dude, just talk to your manager. Right now, we can't make that happen, but like, it means the fucking world.
yeah,
And like, thank you for even listening. Like, next time you're in Nashville, like, buy you a drink or something.
yeah.
And his immediate response was like, oh man, just send me the stems. I'll see what happens. And I was like, okay. I did. And um, whatever. It's like maybe a month later. I just don't. Not even thinking about it. My dad at the time was a big St. Lucia fan, and I was on a flight from Nashville to Seattle, and so I like I could send text messages, but you couldn't get like any pictures or anything through. And my dad just said, "Look at go to St. Lucia's Instagram," and it was like 20 minutes into the flight, so I couldn't open Instagram for like almost 5 more hours. And I was tweaking out. I'm like, why? What are you saying? He was like, did you not, like my dad was texting all kind of like ominous, like, wait, doesn't he not, like, does he know the song? And I was like, what are you talking about? Anyways, I land and it's like on St. Lucia's Instagram, they're posting like our song Blueberry Water, just running through all his beautiful analog synthesizers and stuff. Didn't even tag me or anything. And I was just like, what the fuck? And it was like 2 days later, just sent me a, hey, what do you think? And that was basically it. It was insane.
You're
And
like,
so
I'm blown away. Shit.
yeah, I'm like, dude, like, okay, like, can we release this? Like, and then yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy.
That's awesome, man. I mean, like that's like one of those I think what you said that resonated the most with me right there was like being heard by somebody you like have that inspired you. Like I think that's something
Yeah.
that, if people take the time out of the day to like be like, wow, like, they're thinking about the bands that are, they're like, all right, hey, we're not just listening to like stuff at our same level. We're listening to people who are like coming up and are like
Yeah.
working on it and getting something new out there and like have taken a different take. Like I love
Yeah.
that, and
It's so
that's
important.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so cool. Well, I
Yeah.
mean, that's awesome. Shout out St. Lucia. Shout out John.
Yeah. No, big time
Yeah,
shout out.
I
They're
love
about
it.
to release another record.
Yeah.
Their
Well, hopefully,
second in the year.
yeah. I mean, hopefully get the. I think they were. I don't know if they were just here or I gotta go look it up. But when they get that tour coming back, in the
Yep.
future here, I gotta get on it. But
Absolutely. Yeah.
speaking of y'all's tour, I mean, like, talk me through what's been, Teddy at Night. Like, have y'all, where have we been? Where do we want to go? Like, what are some of the things there that, you've been in this, game for a while. So I'm sure you've got a lot of
Yeah.
connections on the touring side. So take me through it.
Yeah. It's a weird pendulum of connections kind of because I've been touring for 14 years, full time for 12, and then the last 2 years got off the road full time to be a dad and to focus on Teddy at Night. And um, it's weird because I've been lucky enough to be able to tour at high levels, and so Teddy at Night touring was very much starting over completely.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of brilliant people I've met on the road who have come out to Teddy at Night shows because they were fans of other bands and then they grew up with me and or whatnot and I'm very thankful for that. But it is wild to think like, oh wow, I went from playing drums in arenas to like clubs again for with 50 people there. But it's I get real nerdy about it, but I sold my car for a 15 passenger van. Did the whole thing, man, and my wife got a video of me like pulling out of the driveway for the first time and I was like almost tearing up. I'm like, this is so fucked up. Like I've literally had the cushiest, well, I mean, I've had a pretty rough touring life, but like to, whatever catering and fill in the blanks, sleeping in buses and yada yada yada, like and like what you would think the dream was. It was like I got there and here I am like tearing up, like getting ready for an 8 hour drive in a stinky white van. But yeah, no, we're and we all most of us come from touring backgrounds, and so it's a lot to put on the crew. Hey, look, this and man, everybody is there. There would be no Teddy at Night without everybody just kind of saying fuck it and believing in it. And I don't know if that's even hit me yet. And we haven't even really done much. We've done one tour, one smaller tour. We've opened up for a bunch of bigger shows, and that's kind of like our move right now is just trying to get on some other tours that would make sense. But yeah, it's with we're trying to stay true to ourselves and also grow the social medias at the same time. It's a trip, but
I, I think that juxtaposition of, being at the arena, going from the arena to kind of the back end and being, in the, in the white van, I think that's so, I mean, I bet you're probably humbling, but then also like you know it's yours though. This one, right?
Yeah.
This project is much. You got more ownership. You probably have a lot more ownership, and you have a lot more. It's kind of yours. And I bet there's
Yeah.
some pride.
Yeah.
There's definitely some probably pride in that for sure.
Oh, absolutely. I'm much healthier than I've been in a long time, because of that. So,
Yeah.
but yeah.
That's cool. That's cool. Well, I mean, hey, like when you come through Atlanta, please let us
Oh,
know.
dude.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're
What Atticus and I, we actually been talking about. So we played our very first Teddy at Night tour was a Corduroy Blue Teddy at Night show at
okay.
shit, what's it called? I guess it was one of the best nights. It was sold out. It was crazy. Why can't I think of Smith's Old Bar.
Smiths, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um and it was so rowdy because I played in a band that was from Atlanta a long time ago. And so like there was a lot of old friends and new friends and it just felt like this wild like culmination of us like second homecoming. But yeah, we will be back as soon as we can.
I love it. I love it. Now you mentioned, these few songs you've kind of dripped out here this year, like leading into an album, as you do the Waterfall, of course. So when can we expect that?
Yeah.
And when should we be looking for that?
Man, well, yeah, we released a song called Somewhere in America in October. That was also like a not even a B-side, just a it's not time yet song. And and then Lost Art of Listening. And we have a couple more trickling out, and that will go into like a Good in the End deluxe situation. Buy us more time when we finish our new record. But yeah, we're still working on all the details there, but we got some rad stuff in the pipeline. And yeah, we just spent 10 days working on our new record, um, and like slept in the studio and everything. It was amazing. Just worked all day and then popped up some air mattresses, and it was crazy. So we wanted to pretend like we weren't home. That so there was minimal distractions, and yeah, I think it blows away anything we've done before. So really excited and hoping that advances us so we can go more places and connect with more people, and yeah, as
Love it.
one does.
I love it. I love it. Well, you know, we'll get into Pete Peterson's party pack questions. My last question, kind
Yes.
of, as you guys release an EP or an album, I don't often ask this, but like naming things, is it just like a thing that happens or like a thing that comes to you? I know how hard it is to name things. Like
Yeah,
like it's just difficult. So like, what are some of the methods you use, or just kind of
man.
feeling it?
I think I don't know. I think a lot of the names, like a lot of this, our songs and whatnot, start as just a song title that I happen to like way too much, and so I force an entire song into one phrase that means something to me. But um, yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. I think I do naturally like naming things. I don't like finishing things, but I like a good catchphrase.
I love that. I love that. Well, let's roll into Pete Peterson's party pack of questions. It's 20
Bring it on.
questions, this or that. Very
All
quick.
right,
Here we go. Cake or pie?
cake,
He's caking it up. Salad or soup?
salad.
Sunrise or sunset? What are you seeing more of these days?
So I have a 4-year-old sunrise
Sunrise. All right. Would you rather hit a home run or score a touchdown?
home run.
All right. He's hitting it out of the park. Night in or night out? What
Night
do you
out.
prefer? Night out. All right. When you do go out and your jam comes on, you more like to hit the robot or the worm on the dance floor?
Oh, robots.
Robot. All right. Guac or queso, your favorite Tex-Mex spot?
Oh, damn. Walk.
Guac. Waffles or pancakes?
Pancakes.
Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Dogs or cats?
Cats.
Are you more like a ninja or a pirate?
Ninja.
Ninja. Gatorade or Powerade?
Gatorade.
Toast or bagels?
Bagels.
Chips or pretzels?
Pretzels.
All right.
Oh, chips.
Chips.
I
Okay.
jumped that one. I just ate pretzels. Maybe they were.
They're on your mind.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like
All
I
right.
just cheated on
Fries or tots?
them. Ooh, fries.
All right. After a long day, TV show or a movie to unwind?
TV show.
All right. Are aliens real?
Of course.
Bigfoot. Is that real?
Yeah, of course.
All right. Love at first sight. Is that real?
Yeah.
All right. All right. And give us 2 bands that we ought to check out that we might not know. Can be Nashville local. Can be just people you met on the road. Anybody.
Ooh. Golden Blue. And I'm obsessed with a band called Gift right now.
Gift.
Yeah.
All right. Golden Blue and Gift. Couple of G's. All right.
Couple
Let's go.
Gs.
Let's go. All right. Final question. I know you're going to go get the phone here, but last Spotify search
yeah.
or Apple Music, whatever you're using these days.
All right. Oh, it's unique for me because I got an extra ticket from a friend to this show last night, so I was listening to Gang of Four today.
All right, Gang of Four.
Yeah, kind of like a British punk legends.
Very cool. Mine is Pearl, somebody who is local in. I believe she's from Nashville, or their band's from Nashville. But
yeah.
I saw her band's coming on tickets. Tickets came on sale for her to come down here in Atlanta. So I got to check Pearl out. If you know Pearl, tell her about the show. Would love to have her on.
Absolutely. Oh,
awesome. Well, Teddy, appreciate you taking the time, man. Look forward to that. The night coming soon in Atlanta. Hopefully we'll be able to get out to that and
absolutely
have a good time. And looking forward to the album coming out. Everybody go follow Teddy on Spotify, so whenever he releases something, about it. You can see it in your What's New category. People don't know about that, don't know why. It's easy to be able to get all the new stuff from your artist there. Follow him on social media at Teddy at Night. Check them out whenever they're coming to tour in your city. And of course, go stream Lost Art of Listening and anything else they've got out. Of course, Good in the End. Go check out that whole album. All of it will be linked below here, so you can easily either click on his name or click on the links below if you're on YouTube. So, Teddy, thank you so much, man, for stopping by, man.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me.
All right, take care.
You too.